Hello students, now I am going to teach you If I Were You lesson from Unit 11. So open the page number 138. So if I were you, this is actually drama, play. Means what? There should be conversation between the people, between the two people, between the three people. But in this lesson there is the conversation between the two people. So there should be scene. Scene means what? It is the one type of arrangement, one type of a sitting arrangement which should be done in that place where is drama is going on. So open the page number 138. I am starting from the scene. A small cottage interior. There is an entrance back right which may be curtained. Another door to the left must be a practical door. The furniture is simple, consisting of a small table towards the left, a chair or a two, and a divan rather upstage on the right. On the table is a telephone. So this is the scene. In that there is a small cottage, small room, and then there is a curtain, then chair, table, divan and telephone also. When the curtain rises, Gerard is standing by the table making a phone call. He is of a medium height and wearing horn-rimmed glasses. He is dressed in a long suit and a great coat. His voice is cultured. Cultured means educated. So now here is the curtain rises. So after the curtain raised, there was the Gerard who is standing and talking on phone, whose voice is very cultured, very educated. Gerard: well, tell him to phone up directly. I must know. Yes, I expect I'll still be here. But you mustn't count on that. In about 10 minutes time, right? Oh, goodbye. So he is talking with someone on his phone. He puts down the phone and goes to the divan on the left where there is a travelling bag and starts packing. Whilst he is thus engaged, another man similar in build to Gerard enters from the right silently, revolver in hand. He is flashily dressed in an overcoat and a soft hat. He bumps accidentally against the table and at the sound Gerard turns quickly. So now after the putting phone down, Gerard was doing his packing. Maybe he was going somewhere else. And then silently another man whose height and body is quite same with the Gerard came in his room, and in his hand there is a revolver gun. And now Gerard has saw that. Gerard pleasantly: why, this is a surprise, Mr. Now Gerard very politely, very pleasantly asking him, this is a surprise, and he don't know his name, that is why he just saying Mr. Intruder means stranger, unknown person, or criminal, you can say criminal also. I am glad you are pleased to see me. I don't think you will be pleased for long, but those paws up. And then intruder, that criminal, told him, yes, I am very glad that you are talking with me very pleasantly, but this pleasantness will be not for a long time, and you should up your hands. Gerard: this is all very melodramatic, not very original, perhaps, but so now Gerard say, this is the melodramatic means excess. Well, that man whose manners was very excess. He was doing the melodrama. Gerard said, "You are doing melodrama. This is not very original." But okay, into the trying to be calm and Gerard, nonchalant is your word, I think. So now introduce say he is just trying to be calm and he was just guessing the word, and between that Gerard suggests him the word that nonchalant. Into the thanks a lot, you will soon stop being smart. I'll make you crawl. I want to know a few things. See. Now into the again saying, okay, thanks for the help, thanks for the suggestion of the word, but you will no longer being acting like a smart Gerard. Anything you like, I know all the answers, but before we begin, I should like to change my position. You may be comfortable, but I am not. And that man, criminal, was asking him that I will ask you something and you have to answer. And then Gerard said, okay, I am surely answer your questions, but let me first change my position. Into the sit down there and no funny business. Motions to a chair and sits himself on the divan by the back. Now, then we will have a nice little talk about yourself. And then introducer say, okay, sit there, don't act very funny, and we will talk nice. It means it was just very sarcastic. Gerard, at last a sympathetic audience. I'll tell you the story of my life. How as a child I was stolen by the gypsies, and why at the age of 32 I find myself in my lonely Essex cottage. How? So gypsy means what? Who travel from the here to there. So Gerard found Gerard was felt quite sad, like, oh, after so long time someone sympathetic means some who is showing the kindness towards you. So Gerard saw that, oh, after some time, after so long time, someone in sympathetic way who is ready to listen story of my life. And then he started saying about himself. Into the keep it to yourself and just answer my questions. You live here alone. Well, do you? Then introducer against interrupted him. Oh, just don't tell me that story. I don't want to listen your personal story. I just want some question. I just want some answers of some questions. Then you live here. He was asking him that you live here. Okay. Yes. Gerard, I'm sorry. I thought you were telling me, not asking me. A question of inflection. Your voice is unfamiliar. Now, inflection means what? This is the one kind of a word in which you will not find whether someone is asking you something or just it is the statement or it is the question. So Gerard said him that I don't know what you are trying to do. You are asking me or you are just giving one statement. Into the with the emphasis. Do you live here alone? Again that criminal asked him. Do you live here alone? Now this is the question. Gerard, and if I don't answer? Introducer, you have got enough sense not to want to get hurt. And Gerard said, if I will not answer, then what will happen? So that introducer said, I think that is you don't want that you will get hurt. So that for that you have to answer my questions. Gerard, I think good sense is shown more in the ability to avoid pain than in the mere desire to do so. What do you think, Mr. Introducer? Never mind my name, I like yours better, Mr. Gerard. What are your Christian name? So now, Introducer again just talking very rudely with the Gerard that don't ask me my name. I am interested to know your name and what is your Christian name. Christian name means first name. So Gerard replied, Vincent Charles. Interviewer, do you run a car, Gerard? No. Interviewer, that's a lie. You are not dealing with a fool. I am as smart as you and smarter. And I know you run a car. Better be careful, wise guy. Then he asked him his name. Gerard said Vincent Charles. Then he asked him, do you run a car? Then he said no. Then that interviewer, that criminal, said him, don't make me fool. I know that you can run a car better. So just careful while talking with me, while answering my questions. Gerard, are you American or is that merely a clever imitation? Then Gerard asked him, are you American or you are, what is the imitation? It means to copy someone. So that man was talking in an American accent. So that Gerard asked him, you're talking in an American accent, so whether you are American or you are just imitating, you are just copying that accent. Interviewer, listen, this gun's no toy. I can hurt you without killing you and still get my answers. So again criminal get frustrated and he said, so in my hand there is the gun and this is not the toy. So I will shoot you, I will get you hurt and I will get my answers. Gerard, of course, if you put it like that, I will be glad to assist you. I do possess a car and it's in the garage round the corner. And then Gerard answered his questions that yes, I can run a car and which is in my garage. Interviewer, that's better. Do people often come out here? And again he asked another question, that people come here to visit you? Gerard, very rarely. Surprisingly, few people take the trouble to visit me. There's the baker and the greengrocer, of course, and then there's the milkman, quite charming, but no one so interesting as yourself. So he asked him, do people often meet you or visit to meet you? Then Gerard replied, yes, some people, that greengrocer and the baker, milkman, but they are not as much as interested than you. Interviewer, I happen to know that you never see tradespeople. So he said, it seems like you don't meet the tradespeople. Tradespeople means the the person who do small trading. Gerard, you seem to have taken a considerable amount of trouble since you know so much about me. Won't you say something about yourself? You have been so modest. Then now Gerard is asking that interviewer, that criminal, about himself. Interviewer, I could tell you plenty. You think you are smart, but I am the top of the class round here. I have got brains and I use them. That's how I have got where I have. So he said, yes, I will tell you some few things or plenty things about me, but I am more smarter than you. Gerard, and where precisely have you got? It didn't require a great brain to break into my little cottage. So he just said, oh really? If you have brain, then how you could, because that interviewer came in his home by breaking his window. So he is just saying, if you were the very smart person, then you cannot able to break my window and you can come here. So it means you don't have that much brain. Interviewer, when you know why I have broken into your little cottage, you will be surprised, and it won't be a pleasant surprise. Gerard, with you figuring so largely in it, that is understandable. By the way, what particular line of a crime do you embrace, or aren't you a specialist? Now Gerard again asking him, what is a particular crime that you do? Embrace means you adopt, or you can do that very well, or you are not a specialist in any. Gerard, interviewer, my specialty is jewel robbery. Your car will do me a treat. It's certainly a dandy buzz. So he said, I do the jewel robbery. Gerard, I am afraid jewels are few and far between in the worlds of excess. So Gerard said, I don't have lots of jewels, so I am surprised, or I am afraid it will not help you because you are here and I don't have any jewels. Interviewer, so are the cops, I can retire here nicely for a little while. Gerard, you mean to live with me? A trifle sudden, isn't it? You have not been invited. So now that interviewer say, I want to live my better life after my retirement, so I guess I can live here very nicely or very pleasantly. So that Gerard said, it means you want to live with me in this cottage, in this house, but you have not taken, or I am not giving you, you are not invited here. Interviewer, you won't be here long, so I didn't trouble to ask. Gerard, what do you mean? So the interviewer said, you will be not here for a long time, so that I am not troubling you by asking that question. That Gerard said, why? What are you going to do? Or what do you mean? Interviewer, this is your big surprise, I am going to kill you. Gerard, a little harsh, isn't it? And he said, I am going to kill you. Interviewer, with a heavy sarcasm, yeah, I'll be sorry to do it. I have taken a fancy to you, but it's just got to be done. Now interviewer also, see, Gerard is talking with him and Gerard is trapping him in by his words. So now interviewer feeling sorry for for killing the Gerard, but what he said? But I have to do because he had planned that. Gerard, why add murderer to your other crimes? It's a grave step you are taking. Interviewer, I am not taking it for fun. I have been hunted long enough. I am wanted for murder already and they can't hang me twice. Then interviewer said, I have already murdered someone, and if the cops will find me, they will not going to hang me twice. So that again for the second time I am going to kill you. Gerard, you are planning a gracious double, so to speak. Admitted you have nothing to lose, but what have you to gain? Then Gerard said, you are doing this without any reason, so this is not right, this is very wrong thing. By doing this, what will you gain? Interviewer, I have got freedom to gain. As for myself, I am a poor hunted rat. As Vincent Charles Garrett, I am free to go places and do nothing. I can eat well and sleep, and without having to be ready to beat it at the sight of a cop. Then he said, yes, I cannot gain something, but I can gain one personality, one name, that is Vincent Charles Garrett. Your name I can get, and by using that I can live very freely. I can go anywhere else, I can eat very well, I can sleep, and I will not have any tension. Gerard, in most melodramas, the villain is foolish enough to delay his killing long enough to be frustrated. You are much luckier. And he said, when the criminals are quite foolish, so that they are all the time delaying their killing, their murder, but you are so lucky that you have come here and you are going to kill me. So this was about the conversation or dialogue between the interviewer and the Gerard. So I will teach you next part in my next video. Thank you.